This is rotations day 2. This is in your textbook on page 78. It is in the B book of the purple series. So day 2 of rotations. Drawing images after rotations preserve size and shape. So rotations preserve size and shape. That means that the original object and its image are congruent. They preserve, they maintain the size and shape. Let's rotate triangle ABC 90 degrees clockwise to the image A prime, B prime, C prime. 90 degrees clockwise. Now I literally have to turn my paper in order to be able to do this, to figure out where does A go. And when I do that, I see that A goes to -1, -2. And B goes to 0, 4. And C goes to 0, -2. So I figure out where the points are, and then I go and plot them. So A being -1, -2, A's image, A prime, B prime 0, -4, and C prime 0, -2. So I should be drawing something that's the same size and shape as its original. So I'm going to use my straight edge. Please use a straight edge or a ruler and connect those points. Oh, that's off a little bit. So that original orange triangle is congruent to A prime, B prime, C prime. And the rule is when you go 90 degrees clockwise, the X and the Y switch. As you can see, Y becomes the X and the X becomes the Y, but it's also negated, or it's inverse, or it's opposite. Let's do the second rotation. Now let's rotate triangle ABC 180 degrees. Now remember, rotating 180 degrees, it doesn't have to tell you clockwise or counterclockwise because it's the same movement. So the original point A, turning my paper upside down, goes to -2. Whoop, the parenthesis moved there. -2, comma 1, +1. And B double prime is now -4, 0. And C double prime is -2, 0. What is that? Smartboard is being weird. -4, 0 this was. Oh, come on. Okay, so A double prime is -2, 1. And B double prime is -4, 0. And C double prime is -2, 0. So the triangle is facing in the opposite direction, still congruent, same size and shape. So connecting these with a straight edge or a ruler, please, you'll see that same size and shape, just facing the opposite way. It's 180 degrees rotated around the origin. So the rule for rotating 180 degrees around the origin is the X and Y remain in their positions, they just become their opposite. So X becomes -X, or the opposite of X, or the inverse of X, and Y becomes -Y, or the opposite of Y. Okay, one more rotation. Rotating triangle ABC 90 degrees counterclockwise. Label the image A double prime, third rotation, B double prime, C double prime. So you're doing all of this on the exact same graph. So you already have the other images that we drew on your graph paper. You're just seeing mine one at a time because I had to change the smartboard each time. So here was the first image, and here was the second image, A double prime. So now A triple prime, 90 degrees counterclockwise. We have A's image going to 1, 2, 1, comma 2. Ugh, this board is so off. I'm waiting for them to give me a new smart board. The control panel isn't working well. So let's go back to a pen. As you can see, it's having lots of trouble. 1, comma 2, 0, comma 4, and 0, comma 2. Okay, so 1, 2 puts A triple prime, triple prime, and B triple prime is 0, 4. Oh, it's off the graph. You can't do that. Oh, that's a no-no. Really don't want to do this. And C triple prime is 0, 2. Ooh. Normally I would say not to do this, but we do want to graph this, so. So A double prime, B triple prime, C triple prime, B triple prime. Ooh, normally it would be not a good idea to go off the graph paper like that. Should have had a bigger piece of graph paper. So the rule for rotating 90 degrees counterclockwise is to switch X and Y. So you can see X goes to the Y position. Switch the Y, now it's in the X position, and negate the Y. So how is that different from the clockwise? So if you go to the next page, page 25, you'll see that the summary of the rules is up at the top. So 90 degrees clockwise, X and Y switch, and X becomes its opposite. 90 degrees counterclockwise, X and Y switch, and Y becomes its opposite. 180 degrees, they stay and both become their opposite. I can't memorize these rules. I don't expect you to. I can just figure it out by literally rotating my paper and finding where the image of the object goes. So let's try another example. Trapezoid ABCD is drawn on the coordinate plane. Part A says, ABCD is rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise about the origin. O, draw and label the image of A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime. So it is 90 degrees counterclockwise, so I literally turn my paper, and now it's sitting with my 11, 8.5 by 11. The 11 is now my length, and the 8.5 is my width. So A's image goes to -3, 2. And part B asks to label that. So A's image is -3, 2. So I turned my paper, -3, 2. Oh, suddenly the board is way up. A's image. B's image goes to, turning the paper, -1, 2. Pretend it's on -1, 2. C's image, so B's image is -1, 2. C's image is -1, 3. Whoop, big comma there. -1, 3. It's going to drive me nuts. And D's image is -3, 5. So you put the points on where they are supposed to be. This is off a little bit. And it should look the same size and shape. Nope. Can't get it to go on that line. Close enough. Hopefully yours is working, your pencil. Okay, there we go. So we have A single prime, B single prime, C prime, D prime. And, oh, I didn't list D over here. So D's image is -3, 5. Okay, part C says, ABCD is rotated 180 degrees clockwise about the origin, O. Draw and label the image of A double prime, B double prime, C double prime, D double prime. So A double prime, when I go 180 degrees, it's going to go and flip upside down. A double prime is -2, -3. B double prime is -2, -1. C double prime is -3, -1. D double prime is -5, -3. So plotting those, let's see if I can do it. -2, -3, A's image, B, so that's A double prime. B is -2, -1. C is -3, -1. I can't even imagine how far off this is right now. And D's is -5, -3. So I'm going to connect those with a straight edge. Try to get them to connect correctly. Oh, no. Pretty good. And the last part here, E says, how are A prime, B prime, C prime, and A double prime, B double prime, C double prime, D double prime related? Well, the first single A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime is the image how are those two related? When A double prime, B double prime, C double prime, D double prime is rotated. So how do I go from one to the other? That's what it's asking. How do I go from this, pick a different color here, how do I go from this to this? So to me it looks like it's going 90 degrees clockwise about the origin. 90 degrees clockwise. Okay, so is rotated 90 degrees clockwise. 90 degrees? Isn't that counterclockwise? 90 degrees. 90 degrees clockwise about the origin. Okay, and the last question. I'm going to leave these parts A, B, and C, or 1, 2, and 3. Is it A, B, and C? It's A, B, and 3, I think. A, B, and then part 3 should be a C. Oh, yeah, I missed Googling. A, B, and C, let's call that. So you're going to rotate this, looks like a square, yeah, so list the original coordinates. You're going to rotate it 180 degrees. In part B, and in part C or 3, whatever you want to call it, you're going to go 270 counterclockwise. So I'm going to leave that for you to do, and that's it for today.